Hey, greetings from Texas. It's coffee time, so I'm going to show you how I make coffee. I kind of make it cowboy style, but I'm not a cowboy. So, particularly, I have a subscription to Black Rifle Coffee, and I usually grind my own beans, but I couldn't find my coffee grinder. So, I'm relying on some commercial coffee. Here I'm using Cafe Du Monde. This is a good medium grind coffee, which is good for drip coffee makers. If you're grinding your own coffee, they're really, if you want to be a purist, you can examine the different types of grind. I just think if you go with a medium, you have everything covered. If you do grind it coarser, that allows, when you're making cowboy coffee, the grounds to settle, but I usually don't have a problem. I like a strong cup of coffee. I don't like to be able to see through my coffee. The general rule of thumb with a cup of coffee is 6 ounces of water. Okay, it's not 8 ounces, it's 6. So that rule of thumb is 2 tablespoons per cup of coffee. All right, so I'm going to make 2 cups of coffee, which means I'll use 2/3 of a cup of this. And there you'll see all kinds of different ways to make cowboy coffee. I like to start mine off cold and bring it up to temperature. If you're a coffee purist, you don't want your water temperature to be above 202 degrees. Once you get above that, you're going to leach out a lot of the acidity in the coffee beans, and you have a bitter cup of coffee. So what I like to do, and here's another thing you can do. You can take, if you have a K-cup coffee machine, just use one of these old pods as a measuring scoop. So I like to put mine in from the get-go. So we're going to do, making 2 cups of coffee. So I'm putting 4 tablespoons. Okay, tablespoon of coffee in here. And when I'm starting it this way, it's already starting to hydrate. And as soon as it gets to a rolling boil, I'm just going to take it off. You can't drink boiling coffee anyway, so let's go ahead and fire this dude up. Set that cheap little stove I got off of eBay for $9. A good drinking temperature for coffee is about 185 to 190 degrees. I like drinking out of a cooksa. I used to do a lot of backpacking, and I don't know if you can hear me, but I use Sierra cups or metal cups. One thing I found is, number one, when it's hot, you can't drink out of it. You're going to burn your lips, and it cools off too fast. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to let this get up to a boil, and then we're going to shut her off and let her steep for at least 5 to 8 minutes. Okay? And we'll come back when that's done. Okay, this thing was heating up really fast, so I went ahead and turned it down a little bit. You don't want to get a boil over. So what I'm looking for is the first indication it's starting to boil. It started to boil in less than 3 minutes. And again, you're going to let it steep for 5 to 8 minutes. That's, going to let the coffee get to a temperature you can drink it, and that'll give time for the grounds to settle for the bottom. So I can start seeing some steam coming out. soon as it starts piping out like that, I don't know if you saw that, hit that neck. You may shut it off and let it steep for 5 to 8 minutes. Okay, we'll come back. Okay, it's been about 8 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the coffee. Okay, and you can see it's still hot. And one trick you can do is you just pour a little bit of cold water, and that'll help anything floating on the top sink to the bottom. I usually use, if I add a sweetener, I like my coffee black, I like brown sugar. If you're wondering what this is just a little funnel for when I grind coffee. I can pour my beans into the grinder. So let's check out our coffee. And pour slowly. No grounds on the top. Getting the water too hot or overcooking your coffee makes it bitter. Okay, so kind of recap in case you couldn't hear me over the stove. What we did is we used good quality water, filtered water, and put the coffee into the cold water. I used 2 tablespoons per 6 ounces of water, which is the standard cup of coffee, or you can go to 8 ounces. You can play around with the ratios to suit your needs. We brought it up just short of a rolling boil, shut the heat off, and let it steep for about 8 minutes. And let's give it a try. Normally I use brown sugar in my coffee if I want to sweeten it. Now that's good coffee. It's not too bitter. And it just fits the bill. And again, I like these Cookses, the metal cups, the old Sierra cups, things like that. They just cool off too fast. And when you pour in hot liquid, you're just going to burn your lips. And I have a larger one. It holds almost 2.5 times as much, and I can use it as a soup bowl. This is actually my girlfriend's. That's good. Okay, well, that's how I make coffee. Again, you can check out other methods. It's just kind of experimenting, especially if you're a new coffee drinker, to find out what works best for you. And just to show you, this was the bottom of my coffee cup, and you can't see any ground. Okay, that's it. That's how I make Cowboy / Camp Coffee. Please like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to leave comments down below. And again, thanks for watching.